Certain.
Hello everyone, I hope you guys are doing amazing. In this video, I'll tell you about the IELTS test format. So, like you all know, if you still don't know, then IELTS is now taken over by ITP, and but the format remains same. But I just wanted to give you an overview about how IELTS work and everything. So IELTS is what? It is basically testing your English language skills in listening, reading, writing, and speaking. And IELTS is given either for academics purpose or for general. So, for instance, if you're planning to study in Canada or Australia or US or any country outside, you're going to ask for your language skill test, which is IELTS. And there are other tests also for other countries, like for Australia, I think it's Pearson test of English or something. So there are different tests, but I'm going to stick to IELTS. That has that tests you on 4 skills. That is your listening, reading, writing, and speaking. Now, listening, reading, writing happens on the same day and with no breaks in between. Now, depending on your center, your speaking test could be either on the same day or it could be a day before or after. So up to 7 days, and then you can have it. So now there's a clarity. You might have all the tests on the same day, but definitely listening, reading, writing happens on the same day without any break. Depending on your center, your speaking could be on the same day too, or a day before or after, or they have up to 7 days to make sure that you get your exam. Okay. Now, there are 4 test sections, like I said, and I'm going to explain you briefly without confusing you what happens in each of these sections. So, in listening, and while I speak, I'm going to tell you whether this is for academics or this is for general. Now, in listening, the duration is 30 minutes. Total duration of your listening test would be 30 minutes. You'll be listening to 4 recorded texts. There would be monologues and conversations, and these would include questions to test your ability to understand the main idea, to understand the factual information, as well as the opinions and attitude of the speaker. So that's the whole idea. And remember, whenever you listen to a recording and the IELTS test, they will never repeat it. So you will hear variety of voices. The accents would be different, but you would hear each section only once. Remember this. So make sure you're focused, completely focused, and you're just not thinking that, okay, they might just play again and I'm going to be listening. No, it will be played only and only once. So remember this. Okay, section 1. Section 1 is a conversation. Now, this is same for academics as well as general, if you're giving IELTS academics. Section 1 is a conversation between 2 people set in an everyday social context, like it could be conversation in any agency or anything. It's like an everyday conversation. It's between 2 people. Section 2 is a monologue in an everyday social context. It could be a speech, it could be anything. So monologue would be one person is speaking for a continuous period of time, and then you have to jot down whatever you're saying. Section 3 is a conversation between it is between more than 2 people, so it could be up to 4 people, and they're going to discuss an educational or any training context. And finally, section 4 would be a monologue on an academic subject. It could be like a university lecture. So you can see it's conversation, monologue, conversation, monologue. So this is what we're checking now. That was listening, and like I said, the duration for the entire 4 sections is 30 minutes. Now moving on to reading. There's a little difference here in reading academic version and a general training version. The total test for reading this section is 60 minutes, 60, and it comprises of 40 questions, and variety of questions is used so that they can check a wide range of reading skills, whether you can find gist from the paragraph of the text, whether you can identify the main idea, whether you can look at details, you can skim it, you can understand it, you can rename it if required, you can understand what is written with what opinion or what attitude the writer has written in that section. Okay. Now, reading academic version first. The academic version would include 3 long texts. Now, these long texts would range from the descriptive and factual to the could be discursive and analytical. Now, remember, these texts are authentic. That means they're not making up any random information. These are either taken from books or journals or magazines or maybe newspapers. So these are authentic, and these have been selected for a non-specialist audience but are suitable for someone who's going to take the undergrad course or a grad course or any professional course. So they just want to check your basic understanding. Now let's move on to reading general training version. The general training version that you take here, it is again extract from the books, magazines, newspapers, notice, advertisements, company handbooks, guidelines, anything. And these are the materials you likely to encounter on a daily basis in an English speaking environment. So that's the only difference. Okay. Now I'm going to move to writing. The duration for writing is again 60 minutes. Again, we have a difference here, writing academic version and writing general training version. In writing academic version, what happens is there are 2 tasks in the academic version. The task 1, they will give you either a graph or a table or a chart or maybe a diagram, and they can ask you to describe what is there, to summarize what is there, or to explain everything in your own words. You could be asked to explain the data, to describe what is happening, to explain the different stages of something, or to describe an object or an event. So it's description of whatever you're seeing, you just explain in your own words. Task 2 will be, you'll be asked to write an essay, and this essay would be in response to something. It could be a response to a point of view, it could be response to an argument, or it could be in response to any problem. The responses to both the tasks have to be informal. Remember, in academics, it has to be informal. Now, we are moving on to general training version of writing. Again, there'll be 2 tasks. But not necessarily formal. This could be personal, semi-formal, or formal. Task 1, you'll be given a situation, and then you'll be asked to write a letter wherein either you'll be requesting some information, or you will be explaining a situation, and the letter could be, like I said, personal, semi-formal, formal. Now in task 2, you'll be asked to write an essay, again similar to the academic one, in response to point of view, argument, the things that I said, but this is a little personal in style as compared to the academic one. Now moving on to speaking. I feel that people are a little scared of speaking, not because they're not confident that whether they can speak well or not, but maybe because they have this fear, oh my god, if I just don't know the topic, what will I do? So even for that, I'm going to make another short video that I can tell you how you can still talk about the topics that you don't know. And if you need some practice specifically with respect to speaking, you can always write in the comments, and I would be happy to help you, because like reading, writing, listening is something you can still do online. But with speaking, you need someone who can ask you questions, different set of questions, and can help you prepare. But this video is not about it. I can make a separate video about it. But moving on, the duration for the entire speaking is 11 to 14 minutes. Although to some people it might look like, oh my god, like it's been an hour, because it's so scared and nervous. So relax. It's not that big a deal. If you break it down into sections, you will understand what this entire thing is. Now, the speaking component will assess your use of spoken English. And it is same for both academic and general. What happens? It is divided into 3 parts. The first part you'll be asked general questions so that even you are a little comfortable. And remember, the entire speaking is recorded. The entire thing will be recorded. It's not just your test. The test for every candidate who comes in will be recorded. And the general questions about you, about your topics that you're familiar with. It could be about your home, your family, your work, your studies, your interest, anything you may like. So this lasts for about 4 to 5 minutes, so that even you are a little comfortable with this. Then we move on to part 2. Now, in this you'll be given a card. In that card, you will be asked to talk about a particular topic. And you'll get 1 minute to prepare before speaking, and then you have to speak for about 2 minutes. They'll let you know that you have to speak for 2 minutes, or they can stop you whenever required. So don't get nervous even if they stop you abruptly. Then the examiner will ask you maybe 1 or 2 questions that revolving around the same topic that was given to you, just to finish off the topic. Now we move on to the last part, which is part 3. Now you'll be asked further questions that are related to the topic that you did in part 2. Now these questions will give you an opportunity to discuss more abstract ideas. So they're going to dig a little deeper, they're going to ask questions, and this will go for about 4 to 5 minutes. The speaking component is delivered in a manner that your responses would be spontaneous. They're not looking for like whether you know the GDP or not, or whether you know these factual things or not. They're just looking for how spontaneous you could be with a topic, maybe that you know, or maybe that you don't even know, right? So this is all about the format of the IELTS. I hope the video was helpful. If at any point of time you feel the need that you need someone's help for preparing for your IELTS, please comment, and I would be happy to help. Have a great day. Thank you. Bye.